We're about to work some guns in the gym, and we're starting off with a compound exercise. When a workout is consisting of a lot of isolation exercises, it's always good to include a compound exercise. One, it's going to put a lot more extra weight on the certain muscle group you're trying to target, and two, it's going to burn a lot more calories and take a lot more effort as well. We're starting the workout off with the close grip bench press to really hit those triceps and put a lot of weight on them. What you really want to focus on in this is locking out at the top and getting a good squeeze and flex in the triceps at the top position before lowering it down to the bottom position. What you really want to focus on in any exercise is the stretched position, the elongation of the muscle, and also the contraction, the peak contraction where you really flex the muscle at the top position. So in this case, when you bring the bar down to the bottom position or the bottom of your chest, you're getting a little bit of stretch in the tricep, and as you press upwards, you want to get the peak contraction in the tricep at the top position, and that's what's going to involve the tricep throughout the range of motion. Moving on to Skullcrushers, we're bringing it down to the forehead to get a nice stretch in the long head of the tricep and then contracting up to the top position. What you'll notice sometimes we don't lock out in this exercise is because we're trying to keep the time under tension in the tricep throughout the duration of the exercise. This is considered an isolation exercise for the tricep, so you really want to try to keep it in the triceps and not to make it a push exercise with the chest. So try to keep your elbows as tight as you can, bring it to the forehead, and then extend through the triceps to the top position.
We really haven't done a workout video since we finished our 12-week plan, so some of you may be wondering, what exactly are you guys doing? Are you in the middle of a plan? Are you doing anything new? To be honest, we're both just getting over a cold. So for us, our version of comfort food is a good buy and try workout, which we're hitting now. It just feels good to get back in the gym, get some sweat going on, get a good workout, and kind of get back into the routine of things. We've had a lot of questions in the past saying, do you guys work out while you're sick? Well, quite honestly, no. We really like to rest and recover. You really want a lot of that rest and recovery to get over your cold, get over your flu, and get right back into it, which we're doing now. And it feels pretty damn good.
Weighted dips, another great compound exercise that you can help target with the triceps. Making some adjustments in this exercise will make it a little bit more tricep dominant. So what you want to do is just have your body a little bit more upright and make sure you lock out at the top position, contracting and squeezing the triceps at the very top. We are adding a little bit of weight to this. We're just taking a dumbbell, putting it in between our legs, and then performing the dips from there. Another great way to put a lot of weight and load on the triceps. The chest and front delt will help out, but as long as you're contracting the triceps at the top position, getting a good flex and a good squeeze, that's what's going to make sure you're targeting the triceps to its full ability. Tricep kickbacks. This one is a little bit more difficult for someone that's maybe not used to the exercise because it takes a lot of stabilization with the shoulder joint and also keeping the elbow right along your side. But it is a great isolation exercise to really key in on those triceps. So what you want to do is keep that elbow to your side and make sure your shoulder is stable and stationary. And what you do is extend straight back and get a good squeeze at the top position for the most contraction in the tricep, and really try to lock out the elbow as much as you can in this exercise and then bring it down to the bottom position. It's a somewhat short movement, but as long as you're squeezing and have a slight hold at the top position, that's when you get the most tricep activation. Starting off with the compound exercise in the biceps, this is going to be bent over reverse rows. And as you'll notice, it is a supinated grip, so this is going to be involving a little bit more of the biceps because of that. And what we're doing is we're really focusing on the concentric contraction, the positive motion of the exercise, or really pulling up to the stomach and then slightly letting it drop from there. So really not focusing on the negative portion of this exercise or the eccentric contraction. So what you want to do is as you pull it up to the stomach area, really get a good flex and contraction in the biceps and then let it drop from there. And it is a back exercise, but since it is a supinated grip, the biceps will be helping out a lot more than they usually do as if you were doing a pronated grip.
You know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Hammer time. Yeah.
Alternating hammer curls. Hammer curls is a great exercise to hit not only the biceps, but also the flexors of the forearms as well. So this is a great kind of full arm development as far as the biceps and forearm activation. So what you want to do is, it's pretty simple. It's just the flexion of the elbow joint upwards, and you really want to pull that way up, and we're kind of slightly coming inward to the body, just involving a little bit more of the biceps that way than keeping the weight farther outside the body. So come slightly center line to the body and get a good flex at the top position, and then let it down from there. The great thing about this exercise too is that you can go a little bit more heavy because the forearms are a little bit more involved as well. So you can pack on the pounds on this one and just curl it from there.
Alternating and unilateral. You've heard us use both terms in the past, and for some of you, you may be going, well, what exactly does that mean? Because they seem the exact same. You say alternating and you alternate from left and right. You say unilateral, you kind of do the same thing. The difference between the two is with alternating, you're going to go from one to the other. So for instance, if you're doing walking lunges, you're going to put your left knee down, then you're going to follow it with the right. Left and right, left and right. You're alternating. With unilateral, you're going to stick with one the whole way through, and then you're going to move on to the next. So for instance, if I was to say, hey, I'm going to do some unilateral hammer curls, I'm going to do 10 reps just on my right arm, and then I'm going to do 10 reps on my left. Whereas if alternating, I would just switch from left, right, until I get 10 reps on each arm. When performing unilateral exercises, we usually try to start on the less dominant side. Everyone has slight muscle imbalances, some more than others. We've gotten a lot of questions of what to do when you encounter muscle imbalances. A good little thing me and Brandon do, seeing as I'm left-handed, so I'm more left dominant, and Brandon's right-handed, he's more right dominant, we'll just begin on the weaker part of our body. So for instance, I will do a unilateral exercise, start on my right side. Let's say I'm doing bicep curls, so I'll just do it with the dumbbell, let's say hit 10 reps, then I'll move to my left side, do 10 reps, and then typically what I'll even do is grab the dumbbell with my right hand and maybe bust out another 2 or 3 reps. Just so we're always focusing on that weaker side of our body so we never get too imbalanced.
One of our favorite exercises for biceps is going to be the barbell curl. So we're hitting about shoulder width grip on this one. And as you can tell, we're curling outside the squat rack on this one. But it's great because it allows you to go pretty heavy, and it just can unrack and rack the weight really easily. So what you do is go ahead and pull it off, and you want to get the full stretch at the beginning position. So try to straighten out your arms and then flex and squeeze and contract the biceps upward to the top position, get a good squeeze, and then let it down from there in a nice slow manner to get the full stretch. So this is really working on the full stretch and also the full contraction of the bicep muscle in the full range of motion. With barbell curls, with hammer curls, it's all an isolation exercise because only one joint is being used throughout the motion, which is going to be the elbow joint, and that's what dictates it being isolation, whereas compounds are going to be using multiple joints at the same time. So this exercise, the concentration curl, all it is an isolation exercise, much like the barbell curl or the alternating hammer curl, but it's called a concentration because the back of the arm is supported, so it is more concentrating on the bicep because you're not really getting any kind of movement other than the flexion of the elbow joint. So this is a perfect exercise to really key in on the peak of the bicep and really exhaust the bicep at the very end of the workout. So what we're doing is we're just using a bench to get the support on the back of the upper arm, and we're getting the full stretch of the bottom position, feeling the stretch in the bicep, and then contracting the bicep muscle upwards and getting good squeeze and slightly turning that pinky for the supinated effect into the shoulder. Get that nice supination, get a good squeeze at the top, and then let it down to get that full stretch at the bottom position. We've had a lot of questions asking us whether you should go to failure on each set. And that's kind of an interesting subject because you don't have to go to failure on each set, but you need to have a good mind frame of trying to put as much effort, as much intensity on each set. So we tend to go to close to failure on each set, at least put in as much effort as possible on each set. Don't save yourself for the next set because you are going to have rest times in between to help recuperate and make sure the muscle's ready for the next set. So make sure you just put as much effort as possible. And if you have a 10 rep range, 12 rep range, don't worry too much about hitting that exact rep range. So if you go to a certain weight, you're normally going to 50 pounds, let's say, on a bicep curl, and you said, hey, I want to go to 60 pounds, but I have to get 12 reps. So you try it and you only get 10 reps. That's okay, as long as you put in as much effort as possible and you're struggling with that 10 rep, keeping that good form, then you know that you're putting more stress on the bicep or any other muscle group, and that's what's going to force it to grow.
Thank God for those spotter bars.
All right, dudes and girls, that wraps up our bis and tris workout. Is there any workouts you haven't maybe seen us do in the past or would like us to revisit? Let us know in the comments. Also, check out that damn sweet looking new Buff Dude t-shirt. Aw, hell yeah. All right, dudes and girls, stay buff.